Hey guys, it's Robin, RsIslandCrafts. This is Talk to Me Tuesday for Tuesday, April 3rd, 2018. Hope everyone had a wonderful Easter and just a great weekend overall. Ours was nice and calm and mellow. We went over and saw 2 out of 3 kids yesterday, on Sunday. My youngest, Robbie, he has to work every Sunday. He works 10 in the morning until about 10 at night. So the other 2, they're closed on Easter, Tijuana Flats, so they get to have the day off. I've got the eye in the sky this week, so I have a few things I want to show you a little close up, and this is always the best way to do it. This past week, if you follow me on YouTube, you know I've been doing the crumb block series. Through that process, ended up making another 21 crumb blocks, which gives me a grand total of 154. Let me tell you, I enjoy making crumb blocks, but for now, I'm ready to move on to another scrappy project. I will be taking all of these. I still have to put them together into little projects and wall hangings, but I won't be making any more crumb blocks for a little bit. I'm kind of being drawn to some type of log cabin, form of log cabin. I still have a couple string blocks I need to work on too. To catch up a little bit, I did make 2 of my dishcloths. I'm not keeping track. There's a lot of people that are doing 1 dishcloth a week for the year, so at the end they have 52. They have plenty to give as gifts or to keep themselves. But like I've said in the past, I just kind of like to work on these while I'm waiting for dinner to cook, or I have a couple minutes before bed or something like that. I did bring back an old project that I've been working on. I brought back my American Samoan fabrics that I'm making into stars that I call my Samoan stars. I have a whole ton of these stars made, so right now I'm just putting the black diamonds around all of them. I'm slowly working my way onto this quilt. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. It is 5 stars tall and 6 stars wide. I started this years and years ago, probably a good 5 or 6 years ago. I fell in love with these fabrics. I purchased them from Barb from Bejeweled Quilts when she was living over in American Samoa. And from what I remember, like some of these fabrics, they're just regular fabrics over in that area, kind of like Hawaiian fabrics. But a lot of these, she told me, after the fabric's made, they paint, and they like screen print or paint or however they do it, and they put these white flowers on top of it. Can you hear this? So it has that. It's a little bit harder to hand stitch through this, but overall I really love the way this quilt's going to turn out. There's some really, really pretty fabrics. Now I can tell I worked on this a long time ago, because when I first started, I'm not sure if you can see, but you can see that the thread, there's a lot of gray thread that's peeking through here. Now when I was making these in the beginning, I had just made my first projects with hexagons, and I was putting tons of little stitches. I made all these little stitches like this, but then someone saw them on my blog, and they're like, you only need to put like 12 stitches on the side. I thought, oh, well, that'll save a lot of time. So when I switched over to this project, I only put a few stitches. But then as you can see, you know, the thread, it leaves spaces so that the fabric can separate, and it's not that tight right through there. And I thought, well, that's not going to work. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to just, maybe when I quilt it, I can get all this to stay together, because I hate to think that I have to restitch all of these stars. And you can see the thread in a lot of them. Now for me, I don't mind. I know that this was a learning project for me, that I started it a while ago. But now that I'm working with the black thread, I have a black hand quilting thread I'm using now. And it's blending in much better. And of course, as I showed you, I've got my stitches a whole lot tighter and together now. So I'm not worried about these coming apart as much. I think I'm just going to have to individually put a lot of quilting in each star to make sure that they don't fall apart. So what do you guys think? Do you think it just quilting will hold this together, or do you think it's better that I go through and restitch some extra stitches onto these stars? I'd rather take care of it now before I got much further. So anyone who's ever come across an experience like that, please leave a comment down below for me. I'd love to hear everyone's opinion. But until then, I'm just going to keep adding my little black diamonds on, and I'll let it keep growing. And if I have to, I will go back and restitch everything, I guess. I'm hoping, my goal to start with, I had a king-size bed at the time, was to make it big enough for a king-size bed. But now, whatever this measures right now, I think I checked it out on my bed. So I know it's going to need to be wider than what I have it. But I thought this was just a good starting point right here. At one point, I thought maybe a wall hanging, but I kind of like it too much, and I think it would look really good on my bed. I should have enough fabric to make a little wall hanging for myself and to also have a quilt. I did get a little bit of knitting done. I worked on Robbie socks and put a few rounds on each of them, but that's really nothing worth talking about. It's just socks. I started a new cowl. I had some of this yarn left over. It color changed from this greenish gray into this really pale cream colored. So I thought it'd be fun to make a cowl. I'm just now starting to get into the lighter gray. It's hard to tell. It's right here. It's basically, it's kind of like a swirl to it. This is just a purl stitch with a whole bunch of knits. So I thought that's a fun little cowl. It's great to work on when I'm watching videos or something and I don't really want to have to count numbers and pay much attention like I do on my shawl. That's pretty much what consumed me this week. I've also been wanting to get to the store. I was working on this Hocus Pocusville, and it's a Halloween wall hanging that it's a whole bunch of witch village. So you hand embroider all these designs. I'm going to put some type of a different, maybe a panel in here or something. But so I've been going through and I was embroidering all these designs. And I was changing the colors just to have some fun colors on it. So I made this one with the pumpkins. Then I came through and I put the purple on for the employment agency. And then I was working on this one with this pink color. But then I realized I just really don't like this flat gray. Batiks have really caught my eye lately, so I thought, well, I'm just going to go up to Joann's and eventually get up to Joann's and purchase some type of a batik. I was thinking about a gray, but then I decided, no, maybe it'd be better to have a purple or orange. Now, I've already made 2.5 of these, so I am going to start the quilt over. I was going to tear these out. In my mind, I'm like, I'll just pull it all out and reuse the fabric for something else. But then since I've already put so much time into these, I was going to put a glow-in-the-dark embroidery thread on these, but I think I'll just fill it in with some other type that I already have at home. Finish these off into either a 3-piece wall hanging or 3 individual ones, and then I'm going to start over. In my quest to get 50% off candy today from Easter, I really love the Nerds jelly beans, but for some reason they're so hard to find down here. Target usually has them, so I went up to Target, and here it is the day after Easter. I went up this morning, today's Monday, day after Easter, and half of their candy's already gone, so they were sold out. I couldn't get any Nerds jelly beans. I was very disappointed, so of course I wandered around the store and purchased other things, but then I thought, well, there's a Dollar General out by the Joann's where I shop. Dollar General always has them. Nope. But I wasn't going to leave empty-handed. For 50 cents, I got myself a bag of speckled jelly beans. It's just not Easter without the Nerds jelly beans. I love that crunchy shell on the outside. So after I got disappointed about not having jelly beans, I went and I found... Now this pattern calls for 3.5 yards of this cream fabric, but they have you cut up pieces quite larger. As you can see, the pieces are cut quite larger than you actually need them. They say it's so that you could put your embroidery in the center, and then you can line up all these little, what they're calling roads. But I don't know, I don't see where they line up. I mean, they line up, yes, but they're not touching at the end of the blocks, so I didn't think it was all that necessary. So I'm hoping that with this 1.5 yards of this beautiful purple batik, that I can get the majority of my blocks. So then I went to Michael's afterwards, and I found, I mean, I know it's not really like a batik, but it has about the same color. And unless I find a nice orange batik that I like, or I can't see, maybe if they have this same purple again, that I'll be okay. But I thought I'll get as many as I can out of this purple, and then if I have to, I can add some of the orange in. And I also decided I wanted to switch and start using some pearl cotton. So these are the colors that I picked up. I picked up number 5, and I thought the green would be great, and the green and the orange I thought would be great to work for most of the designs. Otherwise, it'd be good for the pumpkins. And the green I got for the vines, and I thought the white and the black would be good for the signs, and then the yellow for all the pumpkin eyes. And then if I have to use the orange, I thought these purples would work really good with it. I also picked up some more knitting cotton. Since I got such good deals on everything by using some coupons, I also picked up some of this Premier Home knitting cotton. I like this cotton a little bit better than the sugar and cream. The sugar and cream is like very dry and brittle feeling. And this stuff is just, I mean, it's straight cotton, nothing fancy to it. But I like the colors, and I like the way it knits up. I haven't used any, so I don't know how well it works in the kitchen, but other knitters seem to like it a lot. So I had to get one of each of the speckles. So that's it for me. I'm going to go head over and watch everyone else's videos. I hope everyone has an amazing week to come and enjoy your weekend in this beautiful weather. Well, I heard some of you guys have gotten snow up there. Some people have been out working in their garden, and then the next day they've got a foot of snow, which is crazy. The weather here right now, it's 84 degrees. It's a little humid because we're coming into our summer. Spring is over here in Florida. It's almost time. We're being bold, and we're being stubborn and keeping our windows open and the air off. It's just nice to have that fresh air blowing through the house. Once summertime comes and we close up the house, we won't be opening our windows again probably until like October. That's it. I've babbled enough. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.